guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are here at the famous Las Vegas Motor Speedway for that first drive that you have been yearning for. This is it. This is the first drive and official pricing of the all-new 2023 Nissan Z. But before we get into this performance trim of this iconic Japanese sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. The new Z. You would have to be living under a rock in a valley somewhere far, far away to not know that Nissan is making a return back to their roots. The Z all started back in 1970. And you know what? Fast forward to 2023 model year, it's still about that overall value for what you're getting performance-wise in a sports car, and of course, that seductive styling. Now we're here, like I said, at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They're setting up for the NASCAR race coming up in a couple weeks, and we are here to drive this car. So what I want to find out is, is this the best? Is this the ultimate sports car that's worth the price to buy for what you're getting? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Nissan Z and find out. So this one we're going to a little quicker. I'm going to pinpoint some of those things that I say are going to be worthwhile for the price. Of course, when we're talking about lighting, you're getting full LED lighting, LED headlights, daytime running lamps, and turn signals, and you're getting that great familiar shape that harks back to the original 240, 260, and 280Zs. As we come across the nose, contemporary styling that this car, you are not going to confuse it with any other sports car. And think about it, when you go to a Cars and Coffee event, you blend in, you roll in with a Corvette or a Mustang or a Camaro, you blend in with the plethora, the hundreds that usually show up. This car is definitely going to hold its own, especially because of the way it looks. When you get up on that hood, you are getting that bulge, and it's a familiar shape that goes back to 1970 with the clean body lines. Coming around the bend, when you go performance spec, we've already talked about this, you're getting the upgraded wheels. So these are 19-inch wheels, that samurai katana blade, multi-spoke design, and we have the nice large 4-piston calipers, bright red with the Nissan badging. I am gonna zonk the calipers because I wish that they were 6-piston, but the size of the rotors, great size, and the great news is these are Ray's forged wheels. That company Ray's, you think about price, that's a lot of wheel for the money, and the fact that they're forged makes it even better. Now, when we come down the side, you got the familiar now lines of that new Z. I think one of the great parts is you're getting that two-tone style already standard at the performance trim. So you got the gloss black roof with the A-pillar, goes back into the rear pillar, and of course that silver. I know it may not look sexy, but this katana sword blade really allows you to have that Japanese style. And remember, these cars are built in Japan, which gives it that little extra iconic touch. Working our way towards the rear, you got the flush mounted door handles. Think about some of the other cars, sports cars and supercars that have flush mounted door handles. You got to pay some mucho dinero for those. Love the way they did the style. Of course, that iconic Z, that's all they're calling this. It's not a 400Z, it's not a 300Z, it is the Z. Styling that's sexy, seductive, and sensual. Say that 30 times fast. Love the rear fender. If this was mine, I would polish it almost every other day. Plus, I would be going on throttle every other day. Coming around the back, you are going to get the standard hatch spoiler. Love the way it's just enough. It is functional, and just like they tied in the front, you're going to get full LED taillights. This goes back to the Z32. That is going to be that 300ZX twin turbo. Love the way they brought that in. The Z badge, and then working our way all the way down, you get a tasteful diffuser, those slash cut round openings on the exhaust with the nice detail. You could even option in a Nismo catback exhaust, but why don't we pop the hood and talk about the performance numbers of this car for the price. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I'm gonna zonk it. I think that this car should have hydraulic hood struts, but definitely we're not zonking what's underneath the hood. A lot of times when you hear twin turbos, you're gonna be thinking of some of those exotics like a McLaren or a twin turbo Porsche 911. Guess what? The twin turbo is back on the Z. First of all, you're gonna get this massive strut tower brace that helps stiffen up the front end. A lot of times cars don't come with those and you have to pay out of your own pocket to add that. Love the tasteful engine cover. What I love even more though is you got that 3-liter twin turbo V6 that they have gone through to make it produce 400 horsepower, 350 pound-feet of torque. The torque starts at 1600 RPM and the torque goes all the way through 5600 RPM. You're looking at 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds. You could go 6-speed manual or the new 9-speed automatic launch control. When you go the performance trim, which is our top trim, there's only 2, sport and performance. You're gonna get a new limited slip diff, that engine oil cooler, carbon fiber drive shaft, and all the other goodies. Think about that. Think about cars like a GT500. What is the price of a GT500? That comes with a carbon fiber drive shaft. This one comes with one as well. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like before we drive it. All right, guys, here we are inside that new Z that everybody's been yearning for. It feels phenomenal to be sitting in this vehicle. And I know that you're ready for it, right? We talked about performance. If you want to see a full in-depth review of the infotainment system, the dash functions, and the cargo area, I'll leave the link to our first walk-around, full walk-around that we did here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway area so that you could really see the fine details. I want to get to the driving, but I know first we need to talk money. So you got your 3 trims for 2023. They are going to hit showroom floors this summer in 2022. First up is the Protospec. They're only making 240 of them, and it is to honor the original 240Z that has an MSRP of $52,990. Now, the next level down, which, because we're starting with the top, next one down is this one. This is your performance spec that has all the goodies that I mentioned. Plus, like I said, watch the other review. It comes in at $49,990. Entryway, the gateway into the Z Club is the sport trim. Believe it or not, I was very close with my predictions way back when we did the actual Z Proto at the Nissan headquarters. MSRP gateway, $39,990. Here's the fun fact of the day. Whether you go 6-speed manual or 9-speed automatic, there's no price difference. So if you want to have the car shift for you with the 9-speed automatic, usually there is more money that you got to pay with a manufacturer. With the new Z, you don't. But let's find out some of the other things that make it worth the price, especially before we drive it. To the door panels. Loving the 2-tone color in our dark cherry red, the Alcantara material, and the Bose sound system. Going from the door panel to the dash, what do we got? We got that red trim. We know about the Twinkies we could put in the door pocket, but we got the red trim, 2-tone setup. I love the way it's got the iconic analog gauges, boost pressure, the whole 9 yards, your voltmeter. That really shows that attention to detail and what you're getting for the money. 9-inch upgraded infotainment system. Look at how nice it's integrated into the actual center stack. If you want all the details, click the link at the end of this review of what you could do with this. We do have standard AC controls. That is a zonk. No dual climate, no wireless charging. That's going to be the other zonk. But you do have a USB-C, USB-A. We got our button for S mode. That's the automatic rev match downshift with the 6-speed manual transmission, that start-stop button. Nice short throws. You got the performance clutch, and they went through the whole gearbox over the 370Z. We got our heated seats, 2-stage, 1 cup holder, but guess what? You're not drinking in my Nissan Z. Good old-fashioned e-brake and the seats. They did a great job with the style, the leather, the Alcantara, electric assist for the passenger and the driver with some manual controls. And if you're wondering, well, how tall can you be in here? You could be a little over 6'3" and still fit in the Z. But why don't you come over here? I want to show you behind the business end before we go on throttle with a drive in this 2023 Z. All right, guys, we're going to be driving both the 9-speed automatic, but we're starting, of course, with my favorite, the 6-speed manual. You do get a very tasteful sill plate with the Z badge there and aluminum pedals with an aluminum dead pedal. It's the touches that add up to the big picture. Seats, they hold you in superbly without being too over the top. And guess what? The designers designed this steering wheel not after a Z steering wheel, but believe it or not, the GTR, the actual R32 steering wheel, but it also looks good with the other Zs and their wheels that they've had. Love all the touches, the nice silver, and then guess what? You get 12.3 inches of visual pleasure on the left, a cornucopia of performance gauges, especially a G meter and a boost gauge, and then you have the large tach with shift lights up top, which makes it extra entertaining while you're driving. But you know what? It's about that time. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in this new Z. Here we go, on throttle. Love the 6-speed manual transmission on the brakes.
Softening up that brake, roll a little bit of power through here, just weight on the back of the car. Just that track out, braking. Yeah, we have a late apex.
Really nice, the balance.
Get it off the apex early, track out a little bit, and right back down to the inside.
Here we go. So brakes are feeling great. Really, really nice. On the setup, love the throttle response. Yeah! Woo-hoo! Love the way the car feels front to rear. This 6-speed, I'm telling you, they did the business on the work with the transmission. So crisp, but the balance is great. The seats are holding me in really, really nicely without being too tight. Yeah, on throttle, baby. Love the shift lights. There we go. Got a late apex on these corners. feel great.
Even fast sweeper, at least no firm brakes if we track out of here.
Love the balance. All right, now we're in the 9-speed automatic. Gonna turn some laps and see how this all-new transmission does the business.
Like the previous run, we want to try and keep a nice 3 to 4 car length gap between each car. As long as we're maintaining the gap, I'll continue to build nice speed.
I'm actually gonna let the 9-speed automatic do the business itself the first time around, then we'll shift into manual shift mode.
Alright, let's start picking our speed up here.
But so far, the transmission shifts very, very smooth. I am in sport mode, so you have sport and normal.
Out of that brake pedal. Sit up, looking through your side window for that apex. Lots of speed, just on the throttle here. Squeeze.
The feedback is so phenomenal in this car. On the brakes.
You're turning it. Squeezing back to the throttle, tracking all the way out of the exit.
You can hear the sound being pumped into the cabin. But the steering feedback is so fantastic. It's not like the Infinity product, the Q60 Red Sport whatsoever.
Brake pressure. So rate apex here, so you stay wide for a little bit, turning down more as you see this apex come. Squeezing back to the throttle. Another rate apex corner. It's super important that you're really close to the second apex cone here, so that it flies to go to the last corner.
All right, now I'm gonna manually shift with the paddles. So I'm using the large paddles on the back of the steering wheel.
Okay, right back to it.
Here we go.
Ready to tap with the brake here.
I like using the paddles a lot more. Here we go. Got to carry that speed with the automatic, a lot more so than the manual.
Got the 3 cones, light brake pressure, turning in.
Really smooth downshifts though. But the seats feel great. The steering wheel is a great size and the digital dash has all the information you need and want. Woohoo! Who says driving an automatic can't be fun? Rather have the manual though. Love this part of the track here. Really, really nice. Oh yeah! right now I'm about 100 miles an hour on the brakes, one downshift. Weight transfer is very predictable, lots of grip. And then you're back on throttle into this tight right-hander.
Stay wide as you turn in here, bending the car down towards that late apex.
You can feel the amount of grip that you have, which is perfect. All right, guys, here we are on the road in the 2023 Nissan Z. I'm gonna come to a complete stop real quick because we got nobody behind us as of right now. We gotta go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Yeah, chirping tire's a happy tire. The way it builds the boost, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. I love having the analog gauges really nicely displayed on the dash. You got your different gauges you can scroll through, and this really just brings that whole driving experience to a new level. Visibility out the front is great. They got the 8 pillars pulled very far apart. Out the back, just as good. I think it's actually better than the 370Z when it comes to visibility. But really nice to be out here in Las Vegas doing the business, one turn at a time. But the seats, comfortable, much better than the 370Z. They definitely have made some changes. And that automatic rev match, watch, when I go to downshift, just flips the throttle really smoothly. Now this does not, like I mentioned before, this does not have the fly-by-wire steering of the Infiniti QX60 Red Sport. This actually is an electric assisted steering setup with an actual shaft doing the business. So you're gonna get a lot better feedback and just an overall enjoyable connected experience over an Infiniti Q60. Obviously the QX60 is the SUV, but let me go ahead and shut the traction control off and we're gonna go on throttle again here. Since we're out here in the open, why not? In the middle of nowhere. If you're ready, I'm ready. First gear, on throttle, here we go. Smoke them if you got them. Second, third. Pulls like a freight train. You just build more and more and more momentum, and it allows you to just have this overall visceral experience. I think that's the thing to take away, is that it's polished, but then it has these opportunities for that visceral sensation to come to you, and I really dig how they've done that. Now, yes, there are carryover parts from the 370Z, but let's be honest, Nissan had a lot of hurdles just to get this car approved, so they really had to be smart with where they were investing their money. And where they invested the money is by improving the gearbox, by improving the braking, improving the steering, and of course, dropping a twin turbo V6 into the heart of this spectacular dance partner. But I'm gonna shut up for a second here and just drive. This is a driver's car. Really nice, look at this. All the way through this long turn. It's one of those cars, be careful, because you look down at the digital speedometer and you're like, whoa, I'm gonna get myself into trouble. And that's where you gotta be careful, because the car is so smooth, aerodynamically so efficient, and really, you just, I don't know, you just feel one with what's going on. Now, there is a little bit more road noise and wind noise than, say, a Toyota Supra, but I kind of like that because I don't need a ton of sound deadening. I don't need to be in this serene experience where it's a pin drop. So I kind of like being able to feel what's going on here, and you're definitely doing that. All right, guys, once again, we got to go on throttle. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, yeah! Sharp it. So what happens is that when you go performance spec, you do have launch control, and I really like the way it kind of sets itself from a dead stop, and that's what allowed that initial getaway to maintain as much traction as possible. Because let's be honest, spinning the tires, yeah, that's gonna impress your friends, and they're all gonna think you're just the coolest dude ever, but really, for moving that way, you need to get the traction to the ground. They did a great job with the launch control. But I think the other thing that I love that's a carryover from the 370 is that automatic rev match downshift feature. Takes all the mystery out of heel toe downshifting. But let's go ahead, let's go on throttle. This is second gear, 400 horsepower, remember? On throttle, wow! God, the gearbox. It's like a hot knife through butter. You're able to hit that second to third gear shift, boom, like a champ. And that's what you want. You don't want to be missing gears. That's no fun in grinding gears, but smooth, the balance of the chassis, front to rear. You got the strut tower brace like we showed up front. We got the rear bracing here to really get that nice equal distribution of rigidity. You want just enough rigidity, but not too much. And that's what this Z does. Look at this. Here we go. All right, guys, I could stay out here and just burn gallons and gallons of fuel and have the smiles per miles be perfect. But of course, we need to wrap it up. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's get back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway and wrap up our review of the new Z. All right, guys, it's been one dream kind of day out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I don't want to go home, but unfortunately, they're making us have to leave because I got to come back home to Florida. But here at Las Vegas, driving both the 6-speed manual and the 9-speed automatic, I definitely got to thank the whole Nissan USA team for allowing Raiti's Rides to be at this media event. That means you were there with us for all the on-throttle action, on track, on the pit road and main straight of Las Vegas Motor Speedway, and of course on the twisty roads around this area. Let me know what you think. Is it the ultimate? Is it the best sports car that is worth the price at the end of the day? Put your comments in that section. I know which way I'm gonna go, and pretty much it's like this. But until we meet another day at another racetrack with another performance car, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. We got to give it up to the ultimate, the best videographer, not only in Vegas, but also in the universe. Show Lori some love in that comment section, or I'm coming after you. Thank you, Lori, for being the best at what you do, always, every day, each day. We appreciate you. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.